Andrew Schultz has started beef with Kendrick Lamar and possibly a race war with the black community. Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy that he's doing all that? Nope. Because 3 months ago, I called it in a video, Andrew Schultz has entered his death spiral. And it's one of my most popular videos. And I saw this coming. Now, it's not because I'm smart. It's not because I have some intuition. It's certainly not because I'm psychic. It's just because I don't care. And when you don't care, you don't get tribal. You don't get hooked on beliefs. You go, well, if the train goes from point A to point B, it's this. If it goes to A to C, it's this. And the writing was all over the wall for Mr. Schultz here. So let's get into it. Patrick CC, how one bad joke shattered a comedian's ego. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Kendrick Lamar delivered one line on his recent album that sent comedian Andrew Schultz on an all-out crusade to expose Kendrick for being a hypocritical liar that panders to social justice warriors for money and status. However, the more Andrew attempted to attack Kendrick, he just dug himself a deeper hole that he is struggling to climb out of. It all started in July of 2024 when Andrew hosted the UK podcast duo Shits and Gigs, whose real names are James and Fuhad. The pair are known to share their unfiltered opinions on sex, friendship, and relationships, and although those were large talking points throughout this pod, Andrew kept obnoxiously forcing race into his questions or topics.
I don't know. There's just like things in life that you don't talk about. But I'm just wondering why in 2024 are we still arguing about race? Can we just stop already? We're all the goddamn same. Just different colors. Who cares? We need to stop all the wars. We need to stop all the injustices from the people at the top. Let's stop doing the thing that they're trying to do to divide us. Just my insight.
Black people in the UK that are just black people.
I don't know anyone who's ever known a god.
Facts.
Ever.
No idea.
But that's like, you're asking the wrong guys. Like, that's the whitest shit.
Do they have black ones? Black people love the front like they don't love America, and the second they leave, they be complaining about where the f they go.
A topic called the Black Girlfriend Effect was brought up and sparked a much larger discussion online, and even Kendrick Lamar chimed in.
What is the Black Girlfriend Effect? This is
you don't know about
just glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up, glows up, bro.
Yeah, like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro, white guys with black girlfriends, they
grow
step,
a beard because there's more cushion when they get slapped the f out of.
That's hilarious.
I think the Black Girlfriend Effect, it might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective. Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets?
That means white.
Hey, let me get a US translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
It's very clear that
Here's something about relationships or crazy men or crazy women. They're not just subject to one color of person, one race. They're in everyone. They're everywhere. In every culture, everywhere. Crazy. If you date a crazy person, you date a crazy person. It don't matter what color they are. They're everywhere. You can't just say, oh, black girls are crazy. I mean, I'm not big into feeding into this racism because I think it's a tool that the powers above use to divide us. I would rather not fight about that. I'd just rather call you stupid or point out things about you I don't like, because I don't care. And that's what I do on here. But it's just stupid to be like, oh, this race, they just beat men in the face. It's just stupid. What are these comedians doing? This is why their stuff isn't funny. Here's the thing you're going to find out about watching my channel. I'm right. I'm right about all of this. And as the time goes by one, the things I say happen. Because these guys, they're focused on everything but comedy. They're not funny. And the people that are sitting there trying to say, oh, you just don't know. Oh, we have good taste and you don't. And oh, you're stupid because you don't know who this person is. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to win an ego trip with you. I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to tell you the truth. You deserve better. Comedy is not funny because of stupid stuff like this. This guy is out focusing on fighting with the black community over some dumb thing about girls. Like, when crazy people are everywhere. I've dated a crazy girl. And she wasn't black. So, you know, it's just like, come on. I'm right. This is why comedy's not funny. I'm telling you.
James and Fuhad's description of the black girlfriend effect was to discuss white guys going through a positive transformation due to them settling down with a black woman. But they didn't make this up out of thin air. There was a trend recently on TikTok where white guys showed their transformations, such as elevating their fashion sense, growing out their facial hair, working out, or investing in self-care in general as a result of dating a black woman. It was a
Once again, that's not something like becoming better isn't something attributed to just one race or color, right? Here's what this effect should be called. Dating a good person effect. A good person will make your life better. A good person will raise you up. They'll support you. They'll support you investing in your health. They'll eat healthy with you. That's called dating a good person. And a lot of y'all, including myself at one time before I didn't any longer, and it took a while because there was a lot of issues that I had to overcome with myself and how they were coming out in a relationship. But when you choose to date someone that is good for you and that makes you better, you will have that effect. And it'll be noticeable. The problem is a lot of people choose and stay in relationships because of their insecurities, because they have some form of control over somebody, because they're not mature enough to choose better. And I like this stuff. This is stupid. I like this whole thing. This beef shouldn't even be happening. There's too much war going on. There's too much injustice. There's slavery. There's sex trafficking. There's all these things out there. And we're fighting about what type of woman is what type of woman. It's stupid. We should be better than this. I mean, I make fun of people on my channel. Like, look. I am not some symbol to look up to. I am just as morally flawed as everybody else. And this opinion isn't my opinion for me. I think as a whole, we should, at least sometimes, we should stop looking at ourselves. And I think objectively, we could all come to some good realizations of what would make the whole better for everybody. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be like, think this way. I just think we should, as a whole, we could do better than this. But on YouTube, let's do the gossip because, you know, it's fun and humans like to do it. I'm not trying to. Dude, I'm so stoned.
A wholesome trend meant to highlight black women, inspiring their partners to be better versions of themselves.
I got a cereal milk strand yesterday. Bro, the back of my eye sockets are floating on ice water. Dude, you know it's so good when you could feel it in the back of your eyes. It's like your eyeballs are sitting in a microwave, just, and they're a little warm. Anyways.
And in an attempt to be funny, Andrew decided to take the low road of leaning into tired old stereotypes of black women being mean, angry, and physically aggressive towards their partners. Now, Andrew's audience is very much used to him making jokes about other races and ethnicities, whether it be in his stand-up act or on his podcast.
Is that yours right there, bro? Latina? Okay. You gotta be careful with her. You on birth control? Maybe, maybe not. Nah, you need certified yes from them, okay? Don't with that pull-out method with Latinas. You come on a Latin girl's stomach, her belly button just opens up and takes that shit in, dog. Like fucking hungry hippos in there, dog. You gotta come on her back. That's why they call them wetbacks.
That was a good ad. That's a Mexican right there. Only a Mexican could whistle like a bluebird.
No oil money, and you're in the Middle East? Israeli? Oh, they don't have any oil. That's the one bad investment Jews have made.
Therefore, he didn't receive much backlash initially, but James and Fuhad's audience were taken aback by Andrew's persistence to keep the conversation about race. They were also disappointed that James and Fuhad laughed at what they deemed as racist jokes. As an
You know, I'm sitting here thinking about this, right? About Andrew Schultz and like, why? This is just such a firecracker. You know, it's just that thing that like as soon as he went on about how black women treat men, it's just like the firecracker went up in there and exploded and everybody saw it. You know, why would you do this? I'm struggling, and the only thing I can think about is he just wants attention. I think this guy, honestly, I think this guy thrives on attention. Just thrives on it, and he needs it. And those people will go to extreme lengths to do these things, because even if you felt this way, right? Even if you've thought that about black women, like, do you want to say that on the internet when you're a giant celebrity? Like, you're just asking for shit. And if Kendrick Lamar, like, honestly, if Kendrick Lamar puts a diss line in one of his tracks that goes on his album, you print it out and you frame it and you set it next to wherever you hang your plaques and awards, because that's an honor. I'm not even that big of a Kendrick fan. I like his music. I listened to it more when he first came out. But I mean, hell yeah. I mean, I'm not saying if you said something bad that made him, but I'm just like, Kendrick put you in one of his tracks that's on his album. And he's certainly going to go to the Hall of Fame, you know? I don't know, maybe different perspective.
American, this is the most ignorant conversation, hyperfixated on race and keeping people segregated based on stereotypes. That's humorous to these people? So unnecessary. They let this guy run too many black jokes. As a black man from the UK, I'm disappointed, I can't lie. Now, it's important to understand that James and Fuhad are known to be relatively non-controversial. They also have a large female fan base. So to see the two laughing at Andrew, a white guy who's making a joke at the expense of black women, rub their audience the wrong way. No one's going after Andrew Schultz because his whole shtick is edgy, offensive comedy. He is trying to be inflammatory. You can't shame a guy who has no shame about what he does in the first place. The fact S&G didn't see this coming a mile off is entirely on them. While James and Fuhad felt the heat from their fans online, they decided to apologize for not checking or reprimanding Andrew for his insensitive jokes.
All right, here's the don't care method applied. If you take all the, I don't know, opinions out of it, here's what the S&G guys were trying to do. They were on Andrew Schultz's podcast so that they could be marketed to the American audience, or a part of the American audience that they want to watch their show. That's why they're there. The reason they probably didn't push back or say anything is because they're probably controlled by somebody that's paying them a lot of money, and they have to go on the show and mind their P's and Q's. That's why that happened. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but you just have to look. People can't find the answer to things because they're looking at morals and values which are made up. When you look at every issue here, you first start money. Andrew Schultz has a second motive, attention. He needs this attention, but he's also trying to create controversy so that he gets bigger, he gets more attention, and he gets more money, and he gets more views on that YouTube, and more views on that YouTube is more views to his website, which could be purchases and views, ad revenue. It all goes back to that. You can't expect puppets to not do what puppets do. Like I said in my video yesterday, there's a trade-off. If you want to be extremely rich or a billionaire, you got to play by the billionaire rules. It's just how it is.
First of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
I'm going to give you another thing. People tell you exactly what they're thinking by how they look. Now, we could rewatch this conversation, but you could tell they're lying because they're not looking you in the face. If someone was genuinely like, or they're ashamed. I don't know. Do these... I don't know yet, man. I have a hard time believing a lot of these big guys, so I might not be giving them the credit.
And fight or flight is a real thing. When you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I would smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Yeah, bro, move on is the fucking word, bro. All you want to do is move on. Just move on to the next thing. Just move on to the next thing. It is our duty to protect you guys.
Facts.
And it is definitely not cool to be in that situation. And again, not be the ones to stand up and kick the cameras down. And we f***ed it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again. And it's about being human. It's about realizing that you don't know what you're prepared for. You don't know how to prepare for something
you don't know
that you
about.
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And once it's happened one time, you're like, all right.
You learn from your mistakes, and that's literally
You
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, we f***ed it, and we're like,
Hey, okay, hey. I can retract what I said. They seem a little bit sincere and baffled. The whole that it's hard part. I'll tell you why it's hard. I'll give you an example, like on YouTube, right? When you're a content creator, obviously you want to be successful. You don't want drama, anything like that. Right? But as you go, you get views, you get comments. No matter what you say, people are going to shit on you to certain degrees, and they're going to make you feel bad. These random people that come out of nowhere expect you to treat them how, like, not to call them out, like, you're bad if you say anything to the insult you just made against me. Well, this is what you got to do. It's not hard to call somebody out or to take action against somebody. Once you learn this, the person that is making you feel uncomfortable, that says the thing that makes you feel uncomfortable, that could get you in trouble, that can get your audience mad at you, that could ruin your career. The person that puts you on camera and says that does not care about you. Does not care about you. And once you learn, like the same in the contents, once you learn that those people that are saying that don't care about you, who cares? They don't know you. They don't care about you. They could be right. They could be wrong, but they're not discussing their opinions. They're coming at you to hurt you, to hurt your ego, your feelings, whatever. And what Andrew is doing is he's coming out and saying things that could possibly hurt these guys' career, hurt their relationship with their audience, make them have to sit here and make an apology video. And once you realize that those are the things that person is trying to do, and if you don't stand up for yourself, those things could, in their case, did happen. It's not hard. It's if someone is throwing a right hook to your face and you see it coming, is it hard to dodge? No. Same thing. This is why you don't look, we're all humans. I say this all the time. We're making it up as we go. Nobody has the right answer. Why do you let someone as dumb as you tell you what to do? I don't know. It's weird to me. It's not hard. And they should have, if they felt uncomfortable, they should have stood up. Shane Gillis did it. Got to give props to a man that stood up for himself. Shane Gillis did it. Joe Rogan used to do it back in the day before he sold out. It's not hard. When people come to hurt you, it's not hard to not get hurt and stand up for yourself. It hurts worse to get hurt. And it lasts a hell of a lot longer than going, no. I don't put up with it with the people in the comments. Bye. You're not here to have a discussion. You're not here to add some value to this conversation. I don't need people to fight with. I could find that anywhere on the internet. I want to get some insight. So I stand up to it. You have to. You have to stand up for yourself. Or else you get bullied.
Like, we're sorry.
You definitely do apologize.
Some of their fans felt that the apology was genuine. Sure, they laughed at the joke, but Andrew should be the one to blame as he is the one who actually made the joke. Others felt that the apology was insincere and that they still didn't properly acknowledge how hurtful these jokes are to black women.
As black women, we get beat down by every demographic, everybody's beaten on black women. Behaviors like the ones that these two have expressed and the ones that we all have experienced in our lives, they are hurtful. It makes us sad. It makes us angry. It makes us feel alone. And I think that it's important for us to use that kind of language in these kinds of conversations, because actions like what happened in this podcast, it's important to talk about how much this hurts, because it doesn't just hurt us as individuals, it hurts the black community.
Interestingly, Andrew used their apology to remind the world that he had no intentions of apologizing.
Any listeners here that are upset at us, we just want to let you know that you're going to stay upset. Okay? What we're not going to do is sit here with our tucked between our legs apologizing on the podcast for jokes.
Andrew then...
That's rough. Just hear me out. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to, undervalue what you're saying. But I just got to point out the obvious here. Why is anybody taking Andrew Schultz seriously? Like, y'all should have just moved on. Nobody should have paid attention to this guy. Who cares what this guy says? Who really cares? And you know who the real cucks are? Are the guys on that couch with him. Because they sit there every day and listen to this bullshit and say nothing. I am telling you, Andrew Schultz, he's in his death spiral, man. You just ignited the black community. And they're all against you, bro. Or a lot of them. I can't say all because nothing's all. But I don't know why you would want that. That's just a rough that's just not the one you want.
Then proceeded to react to and mock James and Fuhad's apology.
How many years have we been doing this?
6, 7.
The past 7 years, where I've been saying that your people f*** mud.
Yeah.
And you've been saying that my people f*** sheep.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've protected either our people.
You know what? You're right. You're right. And it's our duty to protect people.
Scottish people, I just want to say that I apologize to all of you for letting this mud say we
Scottish people, I apologize.
Dude, they all look kind of messed up, don't they? Like they're on something. Look at his eyes. If you look at his, No, do you think they smoked weed? I mean, like, I smoke weed, but here's the thing. I don't watch their shows, so I don't know. But the things I haven't seen them like openly smoking weed, or I have seen them drinking, but they just look a little messed up. I don't know. Just observation. It's because I'm stoned too, bro.
Is that you're all so ugly that
Look at that. Dude's eyes are so glassy.
you have to cheat. I apologize for that.
It's on.
Here's another thing with Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is always talking about Andrew Schultz explaining Andrew Schultz. Does that make sense? Anyways.
Duty to protect people.
Andrew's co-host, Akash, then proceeds to speak on behalf of black women.
Oh, we have black female fans. I appreciate them so much. I think they must be so hurt by this. They're not hurt by this. You don't realize that. You start feeling empathy for people that don't feel bad, that weren't hurt.
No black women were offended. The stereotype Andrew said is that black women are angry. Why would they try and stand up for themselves when y'all would just say, yup, look at how angry they are. That's black women for you. It's impossible to fight or debate with someone who really feels that way. You called them abusers, bro. They're not engaging with that nonsense. Akash and Andrew explaining the feelings of black women. Many black women who are fans definitely canceled them. Whether it actually has an effect on the mass of their fan base remains to be seen. Also, I'm the only black woman I know who watches Flagrant. The podcast wasn't noticed because y'all don't have a large black women audience. Somehow the clip went viral and more black women were exposed to it. There's this phenomenon that happens with podcast comedians today where criticism is intertwined with cancel culture, and comedians use it as a defense mechanism to essentially win every argument or justify their behavior. A comedian's job is to tell jokes with the goal of making people laugh. On stage, if they make a bad joke, people won't laugh. Maybe even in extreme situations, they might boo the comedian. This is commonly referred to as bombing on stage. When a comedian is bombing, do they start having a TED talk about how they are actually funny and they're just joking and that the audience needs to stop trying to cancel them and chill out, these are just jokes? No. They finish the set and they learn how to make their material better. Today, when
Wait, let me point something out. There needs to be a two-way street thing with this criticism. You know what I mean? Because most of the shit on the internet ain't criticism. It's just personal attacks. Me included. And very rarely on the internet do you get actual good criticism. I am trying to fight for better criticism about my point of view, better insights into the video. I am fighting for that on my page. But I think people need to learn how to criticize first off. And then people also need to learn to accept criticism. And then sometimes you need to shut the fuck up.
When comedians like Andrew Schultz get backlash online for bad jokes, they turn it into a think piece. They start casting blame on others for not laughing or understanding the joke. It's because you don't get it, or, oh, this is just cancel culture. And this is especially more common on podcasts because while stand-up is often written and more carefully crafted, podcasts are usually unfiltered conversations that go on for hours, so you're bound to miss a few times. You're bound to tell a few bad jokes, and that's normal. But for Schultz, considering his right-hand man Akash laughs every single time Andrew breathes, you can see why Andrew must think that all of his jokes are crushing with his millions of viewers. You can watch Andrew get a reality check in real time when Shane Gillis straight up told Andrew his joke was not funny, and Schultz immediately started blaming Shane for being politically correct.
Shane, you know what? Shane is funny. I think he should distance himself from all of these people because he was funnier away from them, and just not learn any of what they're doing. None of them are good comedians, and none of them are funny. And if they were funny at some point, it ain't now. And he needs to just this right here. He is winning. He got him the Bud Light deal, man. His favorite thing, beer, right there. He is just his favorite beer, right, man. He is the poster child for his favorite beer. He's got that hot girlfriend. He's got his best friend living with him. He's got it going. Don't be around these boys.
Bro, Shane actually has been working out, dude. This is fucking crazy.
Yo! Let's see it. Hold on.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Bro, you look good. Is this from West Point?
That actually is.
Oh, nice.
You guys, and you know what?
That's his rival's profile picture.
Shane, can we click the video? I just want to hear the sound. I just want to hear the sound.
It's a Sue. It's
Sue.
Nah, you look great, dog. Congrats.
I don't think that's funny.
But yeah, I see that. I see why.
Like you don't get it? You mean?
Tom, my guy's nice.
By the way,
that's valid.
These guys are awesome.
Yeah,
they're having fun.
Yeah.
For you guys to sit here and be like,
wait a minute,
let's bring it up and mock them. That's fucked up, dude. That's a dude.
We're mocking you.
By using them as an insult.
Using. We're using you.
So you're insulting them by saying I look like them? Or you're insulting me by saying I look like them?
This is you back in your victim thing.
No, I'm not being a victim. I'm saying the jokes you're doing it's not like
It's not PC?
That's not cool.
You know what's really great?
Triggering?
You're making fun of these guys, these Down syndrome dudes, putting out TikTok videos.
Now, it doesn't seem that Shane was actually...
Yeah, you know, there's plenty of things that people choose to do, you know, to make fun of, like, oh man, I make fun of short people. You know, see, we're all hypocrites.
Really offended. He was trying to just be contrarian for the sake of comedy, but Andrew's reaction was very telling. He was genuinely bent out of shape, getting loud and aggressive towards someone who didn't just mindlessly laugh at one of his jokes. This is exactly how Andrew would react when Kendrick Lamar addressed his feelings towards Andrew's jokes about black women in the song Waxed Out Murals on his new album, GNX. Kendrick rapped, "Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law." This single line, composed of just 12 words, absolutely derailed Andrew Schultz. He established war on Kendrick Lamar. Andrew starts off his response by essentially calling Kendrick, and all other rappers, hypocrites.
See, what you don't want to start a race war. He is getting the black community against him in a way you just don't want. This isn't like, oh, this song is good. You are touching a nerve that has roots thousands upon thousands of feet deep. I don't know what he's doing. This is kind of crazy.
Are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women. So we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more. Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo,
oh Lord.
That shit.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? You know, be more like us and, you know, just ain't nothing but hoes and tricks.
Oh,
I'll beat
no.
with a stick. What?
Why would you do this? That's why you make fun of people, not race. It's crazy. Oh man. Ooh. It's just getting more intense. He's not backing down, and this is not the one you want.
You can lick on the or suck the dick. I beat my with a stick. What?
Now, there's no argument against generalizing much of popular rap music as misogynistic. For decades, hip-hop artists have reduced women to nothing more than sex objects, often referring
I'm not even gonna say it.
to them as bitches, hoes, and other demeaning words. Now, I'm not saying Kendrick Lamar is completely innocent of perpetuating this behavior in his lyrics. However, he is not necessarily the poster child of disrespecting women in his raps. Kendrick has often called out his own hypocrisy. He has shined a light on how his trauma defines him and keeps him in cycles of perpetuating this behavior. It doesn't justify it, but discussing and self-reflecting can allow him to learn from his past and try to do better in the future.
This took a while for me to grasp the concept that all women are bitches, all women are hoes. You get what I'm saying? But when I was 16, 17 years old, that's what I was saying. You know, all of them the same, you know what I'm saying? So it took time for me to realize, damn, my mom's not a bitch. My mom's not a hoe, my little sister is not. So now I gotta distinguish, right from wrong.
But Andrew takes it a step further and says that because Kendrick has collaborated with and celebrated rappers who often disrespect women, that makes him just as guilty.
Go back to talk about Drake, how he's a deadbeat dad, while you do songs with Future.
Rapper Future is often referred to as the Toxic King and has droves of lyrics that minimize and disrespect women, such as, "Anytime I got you, girl, you my possession. Even if I hit you once, you part of my collection." Or, "Think I might pull out my D and I pee on her." Kendrick collaborated with Future this year for the first time on a song called Like That. Unsurprisingly, Future's verse is all about having his way with women. So while many people see this as Kendrick being hypocritical, others say that just because he's not perfect doesn't mean he can't try to send a positive message.
Kendrick, I don't know, man. Why do we take this stuff so seriously? Like the lyrics. I don't know. Are lyrics like the same thing? Okay. I tried many ways of how to say this, but I can't. There are both men and women that like being dirty little hoes. And I'm not saying like sitting on the streets, hooking, nothing like that. I'm saying they're freaky little leaks. They like being a little, like lyrics, could be tapping into that, that little freaky, like, girls want to be called hoes and stuff when, they're bent over and you're pulling on their hair and they're screaming your name. "Oh, who's daddy's little whore?" Right? "Oh, me." You know what I'm talking about, right? So like the lyrics, it's like poetry, and these are freaky people, I assume. They like doing little. But I know there's other things that say other things, but like, I don't know. You tell me, what do you think?
Kendrick is a rapper. Kendrick decides he wants to stand up for black women for whatever reason. What essentially came back was, you're not qualified to stand up for black women because of look at you. Because you are with a cohort of people, rappers, who in the past have been bad to black women. That argument is used anytime black people stand up for themselves in any way.
Sure.
Oh,
because there is a purity test that black people have to pass before they defend themselves.
Of course.
That is a way to keep them from defending themselves. To equate a black person with the worst version of what you feel a black person is culturally is a way to say, as long as you're with that, you can't say anything about what we're saying, right? Kendrick ain't never made bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Kendrick has never said any of that stuff, but he is a rapper. Rappers say those things. He is inherently connected to the worst lyrics amongst his industry because he is with them. So he's not good enough to want to defend black women. That trick bag, whether or not Andrew knows it or not,
he knows,
has been used decade after decade after decade on black people.
Schultz also,
when they're having conversations about you like that, that's not the one. That is not the one. Andrew, I'm interested now. I'm interested. I think this is going to be so painful. This is not the one. There's just some things, like, you can create drama and yeah, you could survive and get attention. This could be the coffin nail right here. This is not good.
Also falsely claimed that Kendrick threatened to remove his music from Spotify in 2018 when a hateful content and conduct policy was enforced that removed R. Kelly, XXXTentacion, and others from Spotify editorial playlists.
Are you saying that Kendrick Lamar put it on wax that he is protecting black women from white comedians' jokes, but not the kidnapping, molestation, and of R. Kelly? And actually, in reality, he would take his own music off Spotify to protect R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Someone who's kidnapped,
a sexual
molested,
predator? Yeah.
Oh, dude, I can't. This is not real. I say stupid shit, but I know my limits and I know that it, like, who cares, right? But you are tapping into the heart of darkness, things in this country that have just left wounds. You are, and then here's the thing. You're not just going after a famous hip hop artist. You're going after one of those hip hop artists that is just like somebody to look up to, like a true icon. Like he speaks for people. He speaks up against issues. He stands for something. He's not just selling out to sell out. He's making music to make an impact. You're going like after a guy like that. And you're pegging some things to him that had nothing to do with him, and this is gonna be bad. Holy smoky dogs. Andrew.
Black women? Kendrick never threatened to take down his music. It was the head of his label who made the threat, which, as messed up as it sounds, actually has more power over Kendrick's music than he does. His label head, Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, told Billboard, "I don't think it's right for artists to be censored, especially in our culture. How did they just pick those artists out? How come they didn't pick out any others from any other genres or any other different cultures? There are so many other artists that have different things going on, and they could have picked anybody, but it seems to me that they're constantly picking on hip-hop culture. It's not that the label thought that R. Kelly was actually innocent, they just felt that this hateful content and conduct policy was a slippery slope that could lead to more censorship in music." Andrew also convinced himself that Kendrick needed to mention him for clout.
I didn't want to tell you because you had things to focus on.
What a time to be alive where...
I was not one of the Asians who said, good luck on your special.
I'm just saying. What a time to be alive where rappers got to talk about comedians for clout.
Bro, Kendrick Lamar is literally going to be like the Bob Marley of hip hop. And his music will be sung from generation to generation. That's what you got to understand what Kendrick Lamar is. You know, Bob Marley, yeah, he made great reggae music, tunes that you could sing over, but he was like the voice of a revolution for people. He was the voice of hope. He was the voice of justice, equality. And that is what Kendrick Lamar has been doing. His records have come out and they've spoke that language to people. And a lot of people are full of shit, including myself. We're all hypocrites. We all make mistakes. But there are just people that are gifted with revealing the message of hope. That equality we talk about that never happens. The freedom for people to all live in happiness. The power for people to fight when they need to stand up for themselves. I didn't even want to watch this video because I don't want none of that shit that he's going to be getting. I don't even like for saying the wrong thing. That's why you don't mess with it. I didn't even want to review this video because I didn't even want to be in that space where it could possibly happen. You just don't go after Kendrick Lamar when there's no reason to go after Kendrick. Like, you know, if Kendrick Lamar did something bad and he was lying, you know, okay. But you're going after like a mythical hero in the hip hop space. Oh. Dude, it's just, it's so hard to push play. I've had to debate. I debated pushing play like 6 times. Like I am feeling what this guy, it just makes me, it makes you cringe so hard. You just puke, you know, you start shivering like, oh, go. My mom used to say, somebody just walked over your grave.
God bless, dude.
Like, we are up right now.
God bless.
The biggest story about the album, outside of the album and people enjoying it, was a sub at a comedian?
Kendrick dissed me for clout. How delusional and oblivious can you be, bro? Schultz continues to call Kendrick a hypocrite by pointing out that he has a musical comedy in production with the creators of South Park.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
That makes
Because
sense.
he appreciates white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would never want to, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, didn't they have a character
Are
called
these
Toby
guys-
on the South Park show?
How do these guys sit on this couch? Don't think the bullets are going to miss you. They're coming after you, too. You should have done left. Maybe that's why he looks so ragged and tired, because he knows his days are numbered. Oh, man. There are ways to get attention, but this is not one of them. This is painful. This is absolutely painful.
Yeah, they do.
Which I'm sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big fan
That's
if he's
true.
going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out. Yep.
It is true that Lamar is pairing with the South Park creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, on a feature-length film. The film will depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Paramount Film Chief Brian Robbins said, "The script is one of the funniest and most original scripts we've ever read, and it's certain to create some fireworks when it hits theaters on July 4th, 2025.
Dude, America!
As I'm sure you all know, South Park has aimed jokes at black people countless times over the years.
Here we see a black person eating chicken and watermelon, a stereotype that hurts the African American community.
Okay, well, looks like you're gonna get a lot of help here. Category is people who annoy you. Audience, keep quiet, please.
That's so crazy. Okay. I'm just going to point this out, dude, because it makes me laugh every time. When you think about what South Park gets away with, it's mind-blowing. How is South Park like so beloved? Everyone loves South Park, and it just gets away with murder, I swear.
Well, 10 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
Well, I know it, but I don't think I should say it.
Now, in all fairness, South Park has made jokes about literally every race, every
But it's got a
religion,
point.
every ethnicity, every gender, every disability. They have joked on everyone equally, which is
I don't know how they do it.
the ethos that Andrew lives
It's
by.
insane.
I will say, as far as that line goes, we're gonna make fun of everybody, and that's just the reality of the matter. Is everyone gets these jokes? That's the ethos of the show. It's the ethos of the comedy that we do. And the second you start, and he just might not be aware of it. I don't know if he's doing it to sell records or if he's doing it because he just thinks it rhymes or it looks good, or he's taking advantage of like a viral moment, knowing that we'll react and knowing the internet will react. But the reality is, the second that you make a group protected, everything else becomes racist. You're either racist to that group or you're racist to everybody else. And when you make fun of everybody, that is the one beautiful thing that allows us to kind of come together and laugh at ourselves and each other. I've been very fortunate to travel the world making fun of people of all different race, religions, cultures to their face, everywhere around the world. Everywhere. And they've had an incredible sense of humor about it. They're coming out specifically to see that happen.
However, things took a strange turn when Schultz started pondering the idea of him and Kendrick in a one-on-one fight.
You want to squabble up with Kenny?
No. I mean, here's the thing. This is the thing that is kind of funny about it, is like, first of all, Kendrick's people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll f***ing cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy. Y'all do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. There's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things, we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well f you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe
Mark,
I let him choose a
why
position.
are you pulling this picture up, Mark? Why are you doing this?
Look, put up that picture of him and Travis Kelce's girl. Look at that.
What'll be interesting is what's Rogan going to say about it? What is the little Rogan sphere going to say about this? Are they going to say anything about it? They don't seem to like, I mean, that's how it goes. They conveniently, they don't talk about their friends, right? I mean, they did Tony Hinchcliffe, right? I mean, this is in the same realm, going after a particular race of people or a culture, you know? And he just said he would. Oh, Lord. Let me just give you some context if you don't understand how bad this is, considering Americans' history. A white man just said that he was going to have his way with a black man. That's not the one you want.
Oh my God, dude, that's unbelievable.
Yo, I'll be honest. I would go so far as to say I don't think he could stop most people on the planet from having sex with him. Like, the only reason he got security is to stop people from having sex with him whenever he wants.
Up until this point, Andrew could be seen as rightfully defending himself and making somewhat decent points. However, making a joke that he could and would assault an R-word Kendrick was potentially crossing a line. Meek Mill thought so. He tweeted, "White men saying they'll R-word black men openly is extreme, and then say it's just a joke. Black manhood is not a joke. I seen the same guy saying I was gay on his stand-up. My white friends like, it's a joke. We don't joke like that in the black community at all." O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, simply called him a weirdo for his jokes in a tweet that has 6.3 million views. Andrew replied with "Google No Vaseline" by Ice Cube, basically insinuating that O'Shea's own father has made a song about R-word. The ironic part is that if Schultz Googled what No Vaseline was about, he would have learned that it was a diss track towards his former group, NWA, and their manager, Jerry Heller, who had them locked in a horrible business contract. O'Shea.
The white man fucking the black guy over is what that is about. The Andrew Schultz... You just tapped into some roots that are thousands and thousands of. You tapped into things you just shouldn't have. I don't know what else to say at this point. This is the pain train is coming. The pain train is coming. There's hate you get on the internet, and then there is racial hate. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like some organizations are going to start calling him out. Some, sponsorship deal. Like, it's going to get bad.
They replied, "A metaphor about getting effed business-wise by your manager. It's not the same, homie. He ain't call you a bitch. He ain't say F you. Didn't even say your name. And your response was buck-breaking. Shit was just crazy." However, others stepped up to defend Schultz. "LOL, y'all mad at Andrew Schultz but push this tough-ass, no-rules hip-hop culture. Dudes talk about murder, pimping, sex trafficking, smacking hoes, drill shit, etc., and clutch your pearls at a joke. And yes, a joke from the Patrice O'Neal, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Bill Burr type of comedy eras. The Culture calls Drake not like us and drags him for days because he dared to take legal action against his predominantly white label for allegedly using payola to sabotage his career and contract negotiations. The Culture then turns around and calls for the cancellation of a white comedian who made a joke and pointed out Kendrick's hypocrisy. Despite the internet raining down on Andrew, he refused to back down or apologize. He believed he was right, and he suggested the reason why he kept the beef alive was because he was receiving death threats from internet trolls.
Death threats to them, death threats to me.
And I was getting death.
Of course, death threats to me. Death threats to me, death threats to my family, telling they're gonna kill my daughter, posting on my daughter's
We
picture.
still haven't posted in that.
We haven't talked, I don't talk about it for 2 weeks, right? I go, okay, you saying death threats to all of us? You gonna talk shit about my daughter? Okay, it's up. I'm a your man. Right? Because if we saying anything, it's like, let's have some fun.
It's still fun.
Your man.
It's still funny.
Right?
Consensual love.
No, but then we're gonna do the molding of his butt. I'm hanging it on the wall.
Schultz tripled down on his comments during a podcast with Charlemagne the God, where Andrew repeated all his same arguments, how Kendrick is a rapper, and rappers promote misogyny, and how he couldn't fight him one-on-one, and how he is a hypocrite for collaborating with the South.
There's just like people do stupid things, right? This is what I think. People do stupid things. I just it's just like there's like some I get it, freedom of speech, but just as a things that make people really, really mad, there's just some things you just don't really have to joke about. There's too much other stuff, you know? I don't know, but I don't know. Or maybe just what Andrew Schultz did was just like a burial. He's burying himself alive right here.
South Park creators.
So the guys that created South Park are two white guys, and they've made jokes about black women.
Well, they make jokes about everybody.
Oh my God! Hold on. What did you say?
Now, they do have a character.
What did you say?
What's the character? The black character?
Token.
And they do make jokes like they did earlier this year. They did do the episode about Lizzo. They do make jokes about everybody. Though. Everybody gets it on South Park. And see, that's
you know who you're talking to.
Now I don't really know what's going on.
Well, if
I don't know.
Everybody gets these jokes.
Okay, that I know.
Everybody. Mustard gets it. Mayo gets it. Okay? Duck sauce gets it. Okay? Curry gets it. Curry gets it.
Oh, you talking about the season?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were talking about staff one. Indians? So,
I'm talking about Indians. That's Indians. We're doing it for each group of people. Everybody get these jokes. That's the rule.
Taylor, what's the line?
But
why isn't the
Kendrick got specific laws.
says never
Kendrick got to
let-
protect women from comedians as long as he's got an album coming out.
I'm just looking for.
Listen, Kendrick's got to stand up for you ladies.
It's the last verse.
As long as he could profit from it, he got to stand up for you ladies.
Andrew even tried to take it as far as suggesting that he didn't know the angry black woman stereotype existed.
And I could see what people say you might have been reinforcing the stereotype of
Yes, black women.
black women being angry.
Yes.
But the joke was
First
the
of all,
black men.
I didn't even know that was a stereotype.
Black men. Andrew.
I just thought you were angry. I didn't know it was like a
Yo.
whole black woman thing. I just thought it was a you to me thing.
Fans were disappointed with Charlemagne pretending that he has no idea what's going on when he has been a large voice in hip-hop commentary for the past 15 years, and he has co-hosted the Brilliant Idiots podcast alongside Schultz for the past 5 years. Additionally, he pressed Post Malone in 2015 for not doing enough for Black Lives Matter.
What are you doing for the Black Lives Matter movement?
What?
I don't know.
Is that a serious question?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If anything.
Charlemagne has criticized many white rappers for appropriating black culture, as he tends to interpret the behavior of these white rappers as a form of mockery of black stereotypes. But when Andrew was directly making fun of black people, he just pretended he had no idea what was going on. The crazy part is, Kendrick was actually talking more about people like Charlemagne than Schultz. That's why he's so quiet. And if you listen to the song again, you'll see Kendrick called him out perfectly. The fact that Charla roasts every other white person but quiet about Schultz is crazy. This whole situation is the perfect example of the modern day comedian's response to criticism of unfunny material. Comedy defenders will remain firm in their
they got nothing to do with the situation. But there were so many people telling me when I said comedy is dead and it's not funny. So many people telling me, oh, I was right. It's not. And it's not because I want to be right. It's because y'all have forgotten that you deserve better. And this stuff is not comedy. I don't care how you try to package it. It is not comedy. It's not funny. These comedians up there, they're doing a half-assed job. And we, as hard-working fucking people of the earth, go out, break our backs, keep a roof over our heads, pay our bills, deserve to laugh. And these guys aren't cutting it. And if you want better, you got to stand up for yourself and demand it.
Their stance that when it comes to jokes, everything is on the table. Nothing or no one is off limits. And as a fan of stand-up comedy myself, I do agree with that ethos. Go ahead, shoot your shot. I think we have all laughed at some pretty horrible things. In the midst of all this chaos, Andrew did make some reasonable points. There is a hypocritical nature of people who are casting criticism on Andrew while praising Kendrick. However, what not many people are saying is that simply Andrew's joke was not funny. So he can make all the good points that he wants, but he still failed to do his one job as a comedian: make you laugh. Kendrick Lamar.
Right? I've been telling y'all, the comedy's not funny because they're not doing their job. And that's it. You know, here, hey, listen, let me give you one other piece of advice. Don't try to be some moral stand-up person. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. When I try to say that about myself, I don't believe it. Stop pretending. Stop pretending you're some just, saint. We're not. We're failures. We're hypocrites. We're terrible people. But we can work together to make it better for everybody. I believe that at some point maybe, but not, because there's always going to be war. So whatever. But in that case, stop pretending. It's way more fun not to.
Don't stand